Okay, what I did is I stopped the video and it got kind of lengthy and I wanted to do the other side and not make it so long. So I started you in and then I noticed that what I did is I went off camera again, like I normally do sometime. And I didn't want to confuse you. So what I did is I stopped the video and I'm jumping back in here. I'm going to produce a second video after this to do the other side, and I will show you how I finalized the whole head. But I thought it was just getting kind of lengthy, and I went out of camera range at the time, and I have to watch myself on that. So just want to let you know, we're going to have it as the second part of this. And I'll show you how to do the other side. And then we're going to reduce the beak, which is what will really pull it in. And I'll show you how we do that too. So I hope you got something out of this one as well. I apologize for me drifting again, but I wanted to cut it off so I didn't confuse you. And we will do the second part, and that'll be the other side. And I'll show you how we line the eyes up and make sure that everything's just right. And hope you got something out of this one. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you have friends that may be interested in wanting to try the goldfinch, if you could pass my information on, that would greatly help me in my channel. And if you need anything as far as kits or eyes or feet or patterns or even the equipment, the bits I use or anything, I do have them available. And if you write to me in my email, and it's Rauscher, Rauscher, Frank, Frank, 7 @gmail.com. And if you want to ask me questions or anything on this, definitely do it through the email. And if you didn't get this email address, you can get it in the body of the video. There's a description of what I've done, and it will have the email address. All my videos have my email address in it, in the descriptions. So if you need to contact me or you need information or you got some questions, hey, fire away. I'll try to help you out as best I can. And I will follow up on another video. I just wanted to try to get this out to you. Doing half of this looks a little weird because the bird, it's puffed out on one side and it's sort of finished on the other side, and it gets a little weird. I wanted to do the whole thing so that it would come together. So bear with me, and we will have you having the head out on the next video, okay? So appreciate everybody hanging in there with me, and I hope you're enjoying it. So we'll see you on the next video. Okay. On our last video, we had got the eye located. We have the cheek, the beak done, but it's very wide. Now we're going to try to finish this side. This side here, we did get the beak in as far as the burning and the shaping of it somewhat. And the beak line did come on further back like this. Now, what I'm going to do is take you through the process that I had done before. Is I want to take a measurement from the beak to locate the eye, which was 11/16. So I'm going to measure back 11/16, and I'm going to put a dot on the beak line right here, and then I'm going to draw a perpendicular line to this beak line going straight up, okay, and then I'm going to I'm looking at my dimension here, and it says 3 millimeters up is where the eye is located. So on that, let's see how straight I am here. Yeah. I'm going to come up 3 millimeters, put a dot, and then from that I'm going to give a perpendicular line to that vertical line. Okay. And this eye, before I put it in, I want to verify this to say that it's in line with this one, and it's not like one eye's forward and one eye's back, and that can happen sometime. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, from this eye, and you're looking down from the top, you're drawing a line up to the top of the head, and then I want you to go perpendicular to the center line of the head and draw me a line that comes across here. And then what I'm going to try to do is drop a line straight down, and that should be this location here. Check it to make sure that this side and this side are the same and the eye is in the right location. This can be an issue sometime, and one way you can check, is to make sure that your distances are the same as the crow flies, okay, straight in. So that looked pretty good. So that line came up, over, and down, and you got to watch, because sometimes you want to skew the line this way or that way. Just make sure you're staying as if like you're slicing right on through here. You're not, but I mean you're on edge, and you're staying on edge. Okay. Now that we have that, we're satisfied that everything looks kosher from one side to the other. I'm going to ask you to come up the 3/16 up, and then come out 2 millimeters this way, 2 millimeters from the center out again, and to the left and to the right and the bottom. And you got 4 markings, and that's going to give you a chance to get a circle in there. Okay. And then what we did is, I have a diamond ball that I use, but it's more like a burnisher, and I explained this in the last video, but I wanted to go over it with you again. I get this, and I come straight in on the eye, and this is going to literally, I'm going to put a dimple in there to make sure. In fact, let me do what I say I always do. I put my magnifiers on, and I want you to be aware of that, because it really helps to see what you're doing. And I can use all the magnification I can get. So I'm going to get that centered right in there, and I'm drilling that straight down, and I'm burying that. And the reason why I'm doing that, this inner line that we had here, let me shut this off a second. This inner line, which was a 1/4 inch out from the center line, this one right here, and it came back to here, is where this eye has to land. It's like over here, you can see the 1/4 inch is right about where the eye is over here. And when we start doing this eye channel, which I did on this side, you'll see that this will keep on moving towards that line, and that's where it's going to end up at. Now, let me just get this line here so I don't lose it. Okay. Now, what I also want to establish, and this is, we're doing the same thing as we did before, so if it seems like the same thing, it is. We're going to reestablish this again on this side. We're doing this cheek area, which is this area right here. And the cheek area goes like this. It's from the eye center line back 7/16. So I'm going to come onto this beak line here. And I'm going to measure back 7/16 and put a dot right on the line. So that takes me right here. Now what I'm going to do is make a perpendicular line going up, okay, from the center line back 7/16, and then we go up. At the same time, where we have the eye center line coming through here, I'm going to extend that through that line as well. And then we have another dimension here, which is 3/16 down from the beak line. So if I come down from the beak line 3/16 and put a dot, and I come over here and we go 3/16 from here, and then I draw a straight line between that dot and this dot. I have like a rectangle right in here, okay? So what's going to happen, this back line is going to be a tangent point for this arc they get the cheek in. So let's see if I have a better pencil here or point. Here we go. I'm going to come out of the eye. I'm going to swing around. I'm arcing this. I'm going to arc this here. And this is just going to be a tangent point here. I'm going to come over here. I'm not going up to the split. I'm going to stop short of the split. So I have this coming around and going through and up the, almost look like it's formed to the point of the beak. And I'm also going to extend this out because we're going to put an eye channel in here, and we need this longer, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. I'm going to put the eye channel in, and what I use on that is I use a ruby pear, and I do most of my shaping with the ruby pear. It's one of my go-to bits. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay the middle of this bit right on that line, and I'm going to go right through here. And I'm coming up to the beak, but I'm not going on the beak. I want to leave a little horizon fall like that. Now, what I want to do, and let me show you here. This line here is where this was a 1/4 of an inch out where we made that arc. I need to get this eye onto that line. It's almost like if I go to the back of the eye and I put a pencil point there, it should look like it's on that line. If it isn't, then I have to go deeper, okay? That's going to be my, how far in do I go with? So I'm going to go in more, okay? And then I'm going to check myself. Still not there yet. I'm going to do some more. Okay. Not quite. A little bit more. And it looks drastic, I know that. But I'll put my pencil mark there. Oh, look, I'm pretty close to that line. So here's what I want to do now. I'm going to go back just to keep you guys on target here on how of what I followed and what I took out. Here's the rest of that cheek and eye center line right there, okay? Now, once I've got that channel in there, and I still left a lip just before the beak. I didn't go into the beak. I stopped short of the beak, but I left a little bit of a lip. What I want to do is get this cheek out first. So from where I came through at the channel, coming back here like this, all this behind this arc, all the way up to about here, all the way around, I want to undercut, because this outer line, which was 7/16 from the center of the head out to here, is where this cheek has to end up right now. This line is here, and my cheek is out to here. So I have a good 1/8 of an inch that has to come in. So let me show you how I address that again. I'm going to come behind this arc. We got the channel in there, and that depth is pretty good. Now I got to undercut. I want to leave the pencil line for the cheek, and I want to bring this up, and I don't want to go onto the beak. I'm going to come up like so. I undercut this pretty good. Okay. Now, this may be just an initial pass. This isn't going to be the final one. But here's our pencil line for the cheek. It's still there. I'm going to mark it in just so you know where it's at. Now, when I ran that pair through, I ended up with another channel edge on this side. Well, all of this I want to blend back in. This is what we did on the other side. So I get the pear, the ruby pear, and I come in and I blend this away into the body so that it just becomes part of the body without having to have a bump in there. You want to sort of blend it back so that you don't see any remnant of that channel edge that was there before. And I blend it back so that the only thing you see popping out is the cheek area right here. So I get up to that pencil line, and then I blend everything away. Okay? Now, here's what I want to do. Before I do it, I want to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this pencil line all the way around here, all the way down to here, and I'm going to come in on a 45-degree chamfer, or angle, I should say, and go all the way around this whole area here of the cheek. And the cheek has a high point. It's going to be here. And then what I'm going to try to do, the material from behind the eye forward starts sloping towards the beak. So I'm going to just start by sloping this inward, and I'll end up softening that at the top. So watch me on this. There we go. I'm going to come in here, and I put that pencil down below because that's my stop. Once that pencil starts disappearing, then I know I got down to where I'm supposed to be. And you can see it goes away. And I'm keeping like a 30-degree slope to that pencil line. Okay. And what it ends up as, you almost end up with a high point or a ridge right in here. what I'm going to do is soften that now. I'm just going to come in here. I'm sorry. Let me get some water. Breathing dust. Sorry about that. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm going to soften this to take the edges in the middle out. I'm going to sort of like round it over. And I'm blending it so it doesn't have any edges. I do not go on to the beak. I come up close to it, but I still leave a little bit of a lip. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back. I'll put this back in there. And I'm going to bring this up so I have it where it's supposed to be. Now, I checked this. Here's my line. Let me heavy this up so you can see it. This was our inner line. And this was our cheek line, which is down here. We have to get this back. We're just a little too high. If I put my pencil point down here, it should be on that line. And so that means I got to take this material off. And that's your gauge for how to bring that in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do this. I'm going to come in and I'm going to lower this just a little bit. I'm going to flatten this a little bit back here to bring it in because I know I have to get that down. And when I do that, I put my pencil point right here and I'm getting closer to that line, but I'm not there yet. So I sort of have like a flatten there. I'm going to do my 30-degree angle all the way around again. And I'm getting closer. Okay. Hope you can see this well. Now, let me come in here. This comes up. It comes right up to there. So, here's what I was saying to you. This is going to be a high spot, and then everything from behind this line slopes down to the beak. And we're going to have to refine this a couple times, but right now I'm just trying to do each step as we go to stay in control. So I'm going to try to lower this edge slightly. So I'm going to come from the back of the eye here, and I'm going to slope this so I just have a little bit of a lip where we go onto the beak. And all of this, I'm going to come to the outside from this side. I'm still out a little bit more, but right for the moment, what I'm going to do is just hold off from doing anything more, and I want to show you the next step. Now, we have from the center line of the eye to this point, I have to flatten this down. I got to take all this material from the center of the eye up to this line, flat right across. So I'm going to use the pear again. So here we go. I'm going to come in here. There's my line of action. I'm just going to come across here until I get down to this line. which is 1/4 of an inch out from the center of the head. See how close I'm getting? I'm moving closer. I'm moving closer. Okay. Now, you have in here, this line of action turns in here. So I need to get this channel to open up right into here. So I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to come into this eye area and I'm going to extend the channel right up to that inner line there, like so. And then I can see I still need to get some more material out because I'm following this upper line here. Now, I'll get that channel going up there. And then I need to flatten this right here. So I'm going to come through here. And I'm almost going right up to that line now, okay? Now, let me just take a little bit more off. I'm going to get my eye channel coming back. Still want to keep that. If my eye starts disappearing, I'll go back in and redraw that eye again, because sometimes you don't make it deep enough when you drill that eye in. So that looks okay for the moment. I'm going to come in here now. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this edge right here. And I'm going to roll it. There will be a flat on top of the head here. But I'm rounding this over the edge. So here's how I go. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to roll that edge around. I'm still trying to keep a channel, an eye channel in there. I'm coming around here. I'm rolling that up into the flat. Like so. What starts happening now is both sides are going to start looking the same or get close to it. You can see your face is starting to look symmetrical about the center line. So I round that up and I check this out again. So just to play safe, I'm going to redo that eye area again on that side. I'm going to burn it in one more time right in here just to make sure I got it deep enough. Okay. And as long as I can get the balls just in there, that's good enough. The diameter of that ball, okay? And we were saying it was a 4mm ball. It's like 3.5 now, but that's because I've been using it so much. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that everything is going the way I had it set up here. This cheek, if you took a measurement from, let me get the center line of the head back in here because we sort of did some grinding here and took that off. If I measure out from the center to this here, it should be 7/16, which it is. So it still has some edges. I want this to be the high point and everything sloping forward. So I'm going to just go in with the pair, and I'm going to just use a gentle touch, not to create any more edges, but to soften them out. So come around here, just real gentle touch. And then I want to slope this up. Make sure the side channel doesn't have any edges. It comes right up. And you can start seeing that it's starting to take shape now, okay? And if I have any edges in the back from the channel that I ran, I want to blend it, okay? And I still think I owe something back here. So I'm just trying to make both sides look the same. And this is where you're going to look at it and make sure that the one side looks like the other side. Okay? And you can check your numbers out. That it's starting to look the same on both sides, okay? Now you got your eye in there and your cheek. Now, our major problem is going to be this. This beak from here to here is so big, it's ridiculous, you know. For baby birds, they are able to open up their mouths a lot, and you would almost get maybe the baby bird to have that wide a beak. But in this case, this is not a baby bird, this is the adult. So what we're going to do, and here on the underneath side here, I'm also going to get that center line back in there so that I have everything locating my line work. On the underneath side here, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to come out from the center 3/16 and put a dot. I'm going to come out on this side 3/16 and put a dot. Okay, that is actually going to be the width of the beak from that dot to that dot. So here's how we do it. See this line? This is the center line. I'm going to parallel that line. Even though I'm going over hill and dale, I'm going to try to keep a parallel line to that center line and draw a straight line right on through. And what you could do is you can measure from the top 3/16 out and start there and 3/16 down there and get your line going across. I know it's over hill and dale, so try to get it as straight as you can. On the other one, I'm pretty good on drawing straight lines before you. Some of you, it may be a little bit of a difficulty. So I've been doing this too long, I think, is probably what the problem is. So here's what we got. We got lines 3/16 off of the center line coming up and below. Now, here's what I want you to do. This corner right here of this beak, remember we had this C coming down here. Try to get that out. Now, we have that line right here, and we have this corner of the mouth. Now, what we have to do is I'm going to heavy this up. All of this right in here and right in here have to be brought straight down onto this line. We're gonna grind it down, and we're gonna flatten it straight down to that line. And this is how we do it. We get the ruby. You can do it with the ruby flame, which is this guy here. or you can do it with the bullet, which is a diamond. Either one will do it for you. I'm going to come in here in that dark area, right in here. I don't even care about the burn or what. I'm going to come in here around the C, and I'm undercutting that, and I'm driving that back. And I'm coming up here, and I'm flattening that. Coming straight down. Literally trying to grind right up to that line. And I'm flattening it. Right up to that line. Here's that line. Let me make that heavier so you can see it. Because it tends to disappear as you're grinding it, but here it is right here. Here's the corner of your beak. We got to get this. Here's that slope coming down, and then it turns and comes in here. And then we have that C coming out here. Then it goes back. We were going to have to clean that up too. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into this corner first. Drive that back. I'm going to get into the C. Cut that out. And then I'm going to take the material away from those points. And it looks drastic, I know. But we almost have this back onto that line. Trying to get that down. Take that back. Now, so I don't lose the back end of the beak, I'm going to come in and burn it again. Right in there. And that beak line back was, let's see, it was 7/16 in length. So from the front to the back, yeah, that's what happened. I'm going to move this just a little bit more. 7/16 is just a hair more. So this came around. This is where you're going to do your final checkouts here. This comes up here. This is going to get burnt back to here. This C, which is coming around here, goes straight out this way. And it looks a little choppy right now, but bear with me. I'm going to get my burner, and I'm going to go right into that area to establish that split. So I burn in deep. Okay, I'm not worrying about the front end, it's the back end. Now, it seems like everything's above it now. So now we have to refine all that area of the cheek and everything else behind it. We got to get that blended back. So here's what we do. We got to bring this down. We got to bring this down. This comes in a lot. Okay. Like so. And all that puffiness gets reduced down. And I'm trying to get that burn back onto this line. That's what we're really trying to do. So I'm going to gently push that back. So everything is sliding up to the beak. We're sort of losing some of the shape of the beak, but that's okay. We'll just take the measurement again, and I'll show you how we bring it back again. We have 7/16 back. I'll check that out. That's right on. We have this coming from the top around and then drops in right here. We have a C that comes out and drops down 1/8 of an inch, and then we come across. Okay, now here's our line of action, and believe it or not, we're still not there, but we're putting this in, and we're going to undercut from inside that beak area. Now I have this. Go in here. Like that. I'll undercut around the C and flatten that. Drive this all back. Now, getting closer. Now, here's what happens. Remember, we had a slope that came down from the center to the burn in the beak here. So I'm going to go back and redo that again. So that's from here to here. I'm going to slope this back in there again. All the way back into that area there. Okay. It's right, redoing what we did the first time, but we're trying to bring this beak back to where the size it's supposed to be. And then on the bottom here, we slope it from here to the burn again. So I'm coming in here, and I'm going to slope it from here to the burn. So I'll take the middle of the bit and sort of flat. Okay. Undercut this some more so it's dirty. Okay. And I'm going to clean the top up. So that's sloping. So that you're sloping from here to here to the burn. Okay. Now, I'm going to come back in and reburn this so that you can see this really well. I'm going to come in there. I'm going to burn it right on out, almost to the end. Almost to the end. But I'm going to be deeper back in the back end there. Okay? Now, what we're trying to do is get this corner on that line, and we're still not there. So as long as I have the outline, of this coming over and then dropping down, and the C here will undercut it a little bit more. And it takes a little time, you know, you're not rushing into this, and you're establishing where you're going here in controlled fashion. You just don't want to attack it so you don't lose anything. So here we go. I'm going to come in here again to get that back onto that line. Then I'm going to slope this up. And I'm doing it within the confines of the beak. You know, we have the outline coming back in. We have the center line. So we're sloping from here to there. And then we are going from the C, and we're not quite there yet. I undercut that again around the C, and then I want to slope it. We have this line coming across here on the bottom. I want to slope it from the center up to that berm, like so. And I do this in stages. You notice we're doing repetitive work here, but I want to keep it under control. Now, let me get my pencil mark in there so that you can see this. Hope you can see this. We have this and this. We have this coming across. And now all this is high up in here, so we got to soften that out on top as well. This has to come down like it's rolling down onto the beak, right here, back into here. So you're softening back. This comes back like so. Then this gets rolled around and lowered. And you have this coming across. So we do have this sloping from here back to the center line along this edge. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is the exact same thing on the other side. We have this 3/16 out going across here, but if you notice, this one isn't too bad. This one had a lot to take out. This one has this outline coming over here and dropping down right here. And this one has the C coming back to here and then pops over. And all you have is just a little bit to do right in here. So here we go. I'm gonna get my point right into that little drop and flatten that right out. I just want to go in there, drop that down. I'm not worried about the shape of the beak as much as trying to just flatten this one area right in here. And if we can get the corner of the mouth on that line, or the corner of the beak, I should say, that's the key. So here we go. I have this coming down, this coming around and dropping down. And that's pretty close to that line. Then we have the C coming out, which comes down about 1/8 of an inch right here. And then it comes across. Okay. So I'm going to undercut that line coming across. So I'm going to undercut this a little bit, just to get this back onto that line. It isn't there yet. I'm getting close. And then I'm going to undercut this line right here, right up to the C. Now, I'm going to slope it from here to the center line like this. I'm coming in like this. Trying to get rid of that edge that I just created down there. And I'm trying to slope this all the way back to this C. And then on the top, came through here. You want to get that slope going all the way back into the corner there. Now, what you end up with is this. Because we drove this back, you have a real thick edge from here to here, and that has got to come down from the top. And then we also have this C coming around here, which is right here, and then this goes this way. So we got our slopes in. Now I'm going to burn this side in that corner, just so I don't lose it. I'm burning deep on the back end here, and I'm bringing that up. Okay, like so. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I want to get rid of this high to low here, that edge. I'm going to lower that edge. So I'm going to start that by coming out here, and I'm going to roll that edge down. And the side channel will come up to it. This all wants to bring this down. Okay. It's not as high as it was. And then we have the C here. We'll lower the C. But still have a little bit of a drop, just a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to clean up some of the edges that I left out here. On the underneath side for that line comes straight across. And I'm going to clean it just a little bit. Put that right into that upper part. Okay. Now, let me put the center line back in, because that's important. We want to keep everything symmetrical. This came around here, drop down, and this came around here. We look at the top, and I'm noticing, let me get this out of here. I got a pencil mark there. This is back a little bit more than this one is. So I'm going to come in here and bring this in a little bit more right here to match up to that side. So we do it like this. Come in here. I'm bringing that edge back. Okay. I've got it now. And then I'll roll this a little bit this way to roll it down to the beak. Get that rounded like that. Now, I don't know if you remember from the first time, this beak rolls inward. So I'm going to come back, just whoop, almost make sure I have a nice arc in there. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is we're going to put a chamfer both top and bottom. So the top of the beak looks like it rolls in, and the bottom of the beak is going to roll in. So here we go. And going like this. And I'm going to round that over like that. And I'm going to do the same thing to the top. I'm going to go in on the chamfer. You can start seeing the chamfer sort of forming. And then I roll that out. So it gives the illusion that this is rolling inward at the top and inward on the bottom. And then we'll do that again on this side. You come in here. You can see me coming up with a light area as it comes. And then I bring that around. Then I do this on the top. And there we go. Now our beak is starting to take shape, okay? Now the only other thing with this is that we have this shape right in here. We have this, I'm going to pencil this in so you can see it. This is where this beak bottom is. And this should be cut in a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to run this center line down a little bit. And then I'm going to get my pair and undercut just a little bit on the underneath side, coming up to that beak, like so. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to take material out, maybe a ½ inch down in here. So I'm pulling this in slightly, and then I'm rolling it up and hardly touching anything up onto the beak. Then I'm going to blend this out. Okay. I'm going to round the head here a little bit in the back. As I'm looking at that, and that needs to be a little more shape in there too. So I'm just doing some final fit-ups to make it look pretty good. And I think our head's pretty much out. I'm looking again, and when I look down sometime, I'm seeing my cheek here end and this one longer. So that gives me some suspicion that maybe this has grown more. And if we take a measurement from the center line out, this cheek should be 7/16 out from the center of the eye. So I'm looking at this, and 7/16 should be right here. So these are final things that I come up with that I'm going to bring that in just a little bit so that when we look down from this side to that side, it matches. And all this will do the final fit up to make sure that the head's where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to come in here, bring that cheek back a little bit, and then just roll the back end. And I'm not trying to make any bigger digs and stuff like that. So then I'm going to round things to make the head come through. The other thing you may want to do is come in here to get that channel in more. Because the channel's got to come right up to where it goes onto the beak, almost. And that'll pull in here, like so. And that eye channel comes back, and it stays here, but it blends away, okay? Blends back in there. There is a channel there. So, then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to come in here, bring that channel right on up. Remember how this turns right here? We're cleaning that up. And we're not getting rid of the lip. We're going to keep the lip, but we're bringing that. I put the channel in again, the eye channel. And then I round this over. Now, I don't want any edges, at least, you know, substantial edges. We can always sand some things down. But, so now your head is out, okay? And we have it with our cheeks in. You could do a final checkup to take the measurements to make sure that all of this is where it's supposed to be. You got a high point here. Everything should be sloping from the back end of the eye forward. Your beak is reduced down to where it should be, okay? And you could check that again. And this comes up and around right here, okay? And you want to get that eye channel up. Remember how we had that line coming this way to the beak, and this way, this was the inner head, top of the head. You need to clean this out on either side. That's what I was doing here last. And the last things you want to do, if there's anything where I have like little edges and stuff like that, you could hand sand that. But for the most part, you want to make sure that from the center out now, that your cheek is 7/16 wide from here to here, in the same way on the other side. And it looks symmetrical when you look straight in, okay? So, hope you got something out of this one. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you could, if you have friends that may be interested in wanting to try this, please recommend me if you would. And if you need any of the items I have here, you can contact me through my email address, which is in the body of the description of this video. And I'll see you on the, excuse me, on the next video, and we will start putting the mantle in, the wings in, and we're really starting to get this thing moving a lot faster than we did on the owl, that's for sure. So I'll see you on the next video.